Welcome to my tutorial on how to curl your hair. I'm going to take you through some very simple steps to show you the techniques in how to curl your hair. I'm going to be using myself as the example. I'm going to be using my own natural curl that I have. I myself like to fluctuate between some days wearing my hair smooth, some days I'll actually style a curl into it, and other days I might actually use my own natural curl. I will talk a little bit briefly about the products I'm using and why, but most of this tutorial is just to show you how to go through the steps and get your application of product done evenly, because that is part of the most important step in the whole process. I hope you enjoy, so let's get started. We're ready to start applying our product. I started with the gentle lather in the Jessicurl, and I have used the Too Shea Conditioner. So that's already been done in the shower. Now I'm going to put in a leave-in moisturiser that also has heat control, and that is the Reconstruct Goldwell Kerasilk. So this one gets a little shake, and I'm going to spray it through mid-lengths to ends. I tend to get quite fluffy around the hairline when I do curl my hair, so I'm going to concentrate on there. And then we're going to start applying our styling gel, which is the Spiralicious. So straight into the moisturiser. Now with this kind of a product, you can be quite generous. It won't make your hair heavy, and that's why I actually choose to use it. I don't have extremely thick hair, and because I wear my hair both curly and straight, I want something that's going to be quite light. If I only wore my hair naturally curly, I could afford to go back and reapply some Too Shea of the Jessicurl. It's creamy as a conditioner is, but my hair would be able to take that and hold the extra moisture, because the curl would be a lot more defined and used to springing in that shape. But I do fluctuate between smooth, sometimes I style my curl with hot tongs, and sometimes I use my natural curl, and sometimes I wear it smoother, where I blow dry it straight. So I like the versatility, and for that reason I choose my products accordingly. If I went straight in with the Too Shea and a heavier moisturiser, because my hair needs a little bit of extra help to bring back its natural curl, I would find I'd struggle because there's too much weight in around it. So that's why I choose a really light moisturiser to start with. Alright, so straight into the application of Spiralicious. Now with Spiralicious, I'm going to apply this in sections because I want a really even application. So I'm going to section this up, and we'll come right back and I'll show you how I apply the rest of it from my hands to my hair. Alright, so I have clipped up some of my hair here. I'm just starting at the nape of the neck to begin with, and I've given the bottle a bit of a shake. It's not a bad idea with this particular product. Now I'm going to put about the size of a 10-cent piece in my hand to start with. Here we go. That's running on my hand as we go, so it's looking more than I actually started with. Rub it through your hands, and then just using your fingers to rake the product through. Start from the roots and just run your hands through your hair. Now, depending how long your hair is, sometimes it's easier to start on one side with one hand and then turn to the other side for the other hand. And just use all the product that you've spread through the palm of your hand through. I like to start from the fingers, and once the product's moved and come off my fingers into my hair, I just spread it back through the palms of my hands and reapply again. And you can generally tell when it's all come off the hands. Now I'll be applying about that much through every section I go, but once I can't start getting to the wider part of the hair, I'm probably going to use a little bit more than that, but I'll start with that amount because it's a comfortable amount for me to hold in my hands, and I'll possibly divide the hair up. So if you can imagine that much I just used, I'm going to use on this side when I get to the wider section, because there's a lot more hair to cover, and then I'm going to reapply that same amount again and do that side. And then when we get to a narrower section to the top, we'll be losing a little less. Okay, now another great thing to do if you want to ensure that you have got an even application is to use a wide tooth comb. I'm using the Afro comb, and then I just run that through. Now this doesn't give any tension onto the hair, but it does help make sure that the product has evenly got itself right from roots to ends. And then I like to go through and just give that a little scrunch, and just to encourage that shape to start forming. So I'm going to resection again and reapply. Now how I like to section is I just take both fingers, I work out, I've done about that size at the nape of the neck, I'm mimicking the same size up again, and I just take 2 fingers and I scoop them together till they touch, and then I separate up the hair I'm going to clip away and leave down what I've got. So it's a very easy way to section. No need for lots of combs and fingers and thumbs in the way. Nice and simple. So actually we probably don't need to shake it again. Start with the same amount in the hand, rub through. Now this is the wider section, so I'll be reapplying a bit more before I get to the other side. So I'm going to rake that through like I said before. Make sure you get all those little fine hairs that sit a little shorter around the face. Take it through, scrunch as you go. The back's always a bit tricky, but you should be able to feel that section just sitting above the section you've just done, so it makes it easier to grab. Now I can feel that I've lost a lot of product from my hand, so I'm going to start applying another little bit now. Oh, there we go. Rub it through. Always rub through your product and smooth it through your hands. Never try to apply that dollop of, whether it's shampoo, conditioner, styling product, whatever it is. If you try to apply what you've just put in your hand and spread it through, rather than spreading it through your hands to begin with, you won't get an even application. It will be extremely difficult to spread that through, or you'll get too much product in one section and quite often miss a lot of parts of your hair. So I hope you can see, I'm just grabbing it from, just letting it sit on my hand, and then I just lift it with a scrunch. So it will start to just take on its own shape. Now the back section, I'm a little not confident that I got that through really well, so I'm just going to give that a little comb again. It doesn't matter if you comb through the section you've already done. You can grab it again and give it a scrunch. Just give it a scrunch. Make sure that there's a little bit of product left on your hand. That'll help support the shape as you scrunch it. And we're going to get into our next section. So I'm going to run my hands through from, again, probably, yeah, no, about the same size again. I'm going to scoop that through, clip the top up, and reapply that piece. Now I have got myself all the way up to the final section, which looks a little bit like a horseshoe shape. And I'm just going to finish off by applying the product through here. Now for the busy person who may not have the time available to do a full diffusing of the curl that you might want to wear that day, I have good news. It's all the work really is in the application of your product, the prepping. This is the part you don't want to rush, because once you've got your application evenly put through, then your curl will perform and it will dry that way. So you could leave it wet if you're happy to do so and let it air dry, but it's not going to look as good as it could if your application has been rushed. So if there's any step that you want to skip, make it the drying part, not the part where you take your time to properly get through all that product. All right, I'm happy. So the next step, and if you're that person who is going to leave it at this point, that's fine. You could actually follow through with what I'm about to do next and remove the pin curl clips that I'm about to put in, maybe when you're about to jump out of the car and head into the office, or whatever it is you have to do. If you've got time with some travel in between, you can still prep the hair up just to help give the hair a chance to dry with a little bit more root lift, but you don't have to. So this is a point you can stop at. But I'm going to continue. I'm going to show you the full procedure of curling and diffusing this curl. So now we're up to pin curl clips. I have my pin curl clips. Now these come in many sizes. I would consider this quite a small size, but I like that because I don't want too much stretch. The wider the pin curl clip is, the more flattening you'll get as well as height. But depending on the size of your curl, it probably mimics your natural curl better if you have even a tighter curl than what I'm using here, to use a smaller pin curl clip. But it's entirely up to you. it will all still do the same thing. Now, the way these are going to go in the hair is not going to be flat like this. We want them up. So if my hand is the scalp, it's going to sit up that way. All right, because that's what's going to give us our height. Now, it's pretty easy to follow. Once you have gone through and scrunched, you'll see the hair has actually naturally kind of clumped together. So you're just going to basically put the pin curl clip in on those pieces that have already lifted up. If yours hasn't quite done that, that's fine. Just pinch together little pieces, and we're just going to cover the top section because that's where the height needs to be, and that's where gravity can just pull that a bit flat. So we want to make sure we get lots of root lift. So I'm going to go through and just apply the pin curl clips to this top section. There's no particular format here. You can have them positioned any way you like. If you don't want to see a part, you can actually place your hair and zigzag it. It's entirely up to you. It's your style, it's your look, and really there's not one rule to stick to. And you probably find every time you do your hair, you're going to do and see a different result. So we're just pinching and clipping. Don't overthink it. Okay, we're pinned up and we're ready to start diffusing. I have my diffuser on and ready to go. Now at this point, it's a good time to mention that I'll be using a full speed on a medium heat. So I'm going to start by holding my diffuser at the top. I like to dry the roots and get that set first. When we start the diffusing, we're going to touch the hair as little as possible until it gets to about 85% dry, and then we're going to start using a pumping action just to release the crunch that may be left behind from the gel we've used. So just try your best not, if you need to, just gently pick it up and place it into the diffuser. That's one thing, but we don't want to be messing it or scrunching it in the early part of this drying phase. I'm stopping just at this point. Now it's quite crunchy. I wanted to let you know, because this is something you can't see in time lapse, is that I'm basically holding anywhere between 5 to 10 seconds each time I position my diffuser and kind of lift into the curl before I drop that down and out and reposition again. So I'm holding between 5 and 10 seconds. So I've just worked my way around the whole head. I keep revisiting the top even though I started there, and I'm going to go a little bit more than this, and then I'm going to come back and I'm going to tell you what the next step will be. Now I'm going to release or remove the pin curl clips, and we're going to finish just softly drying through there because we want to remove now any crunch that's left behind. Now when it comes to removing your pin curl clips, you want to be gentle. We've been so careful with what we're doing with our shaping and not to touch too much. We don't want to get this caught. So you squeeze to release it before you slide. Don't grab hold of your pin curl clip and start pulling before you've actually opened the clip up. So I'm just going to go through and release these now. So I'm just going to go back through and I'm just going to start gently pumping at the hair. I don't want to create any friction. I just want a nice, even, open-handed pumping action, and that's just going to take away the crunch, and we're going to see a lot more of a soft, bouncy curl. Okay, so off we go. put this out so you can see I've got a much softer, less wet looking curl. I actually don't mind a bit of a messy look, so I'm actually going to shake this out a little bit more, I think, and just soften up a little bit more fluffier. And there we go. I have scrunched out the crunch and I have messed it up because I like my hair kind of looked a little bit more lived in. I really hope you've enjoyed this tutorial on curling hair, and I look forward to seeing you at our next tutorial where we go through some more techniques on styling. Until then, keep your hair healthy and have a great day.